never get free. Lamb to the slaughter, what you gon' do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gon' do when there's blood in the water? Look me in my eyes, tell me everything's not fine, or that people ain't happy.
Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now this is What If Deku is a Dark Elf Part 1. Now I haven't forgot about the part I'm supposed to release before I made Part 0 was What If Deku had Demon Shadow. I'm still planning to make that. I just had to get this out of here first because of the 5K special. So if I didn't do it right away, it wouldn't get done. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna clarify something a little bit clear so you guys don't get confused. I didn't really describe it the best way. So how the Dark Elves society works, the females have more power when it comes to politics, and all this stuff comes around it. And they're a lot bigger than sorry, female dark elves are a whole lot bigger than males. That's because genetics wise, I'm taking that from the D&D lore from the drows. So I'm using it in this story, and I think that's pretty much it. And yes, some of them are strong in the arcane arts, but a lot of males go into sorcery or any arcane study because they can't really get any higher into the society because of their gender. So now we're going to start our episode off where Izuku and I totally didn't name her, did I? Holy shit. Okay, give me a second again. Okay, I picked up the first name popped in my head that wasn't generic, so I'm gonna name her Shiva because it fits her. So that's her name. Now this is what this is what the Frost Elf village looks like. I'm doing a more. I couldn't really find a right picture for it, but they are a lot more tribal in nature. Just how their society works. There's not this one there's not this one major village or town. They're separated in tribes all around the globe. So and they're always placed like their set of where they set up their towns. It's always near the coastline, near the ocean, because they kind of rule the seas. So no, their power comes from their military power comes from the battleships and stuff like that. And once every year in this region, no, not once every year. I guess 3 months would be a decent amount of time. Every 3 months, the ocean near the town will melt, be more liquid, so you can sail ships back and forth. So about every 3 months, they're able to sail out of the town or into the town. So that's how that cycle works there. Okay. I don't remember how old he was, well, look wise. So I'm gonna change it so this part of the story would kind of work out the way I wanted to. As when Shiva found Izuku, he was, let's say, 10. Give him enough age for 10's a decent enough age for this 10 in elf years. So he would have a lot more time training with his parents before, this scene happens. As they're walking into the town, as all the frost elves are whispering to themselves, as they're all saying, "Look, isn't that a drow? What is their kind doing here?" As they're like, what is our chieftain thinking? As Shiva gives a mean look. As she has Izuku by the hand, as she walked past one of her high ups, one of her advisors, as she's like, get everyone together. We have things to discuss. But first, I'm gonna have to give this one. He needs to get. Izuku's covered in dirt and blood, so yeah, we definitely want to give this one a little. This one needs a bath, as she looks down to Izuku. Now Izuku is reacting to at least his dad's death that he knows of, and I wasn't sure, but I kill off Inko enough, so I'm gonna leave her in a hibernated state in there. Though later, I'll explain where they put her later. But let's continue. As she gets into the main area of the building, and she sits on her chair after giving Izuku get him to get some fresh clothes and all that stuff. As he's sitting right next to her. As they're like, "What's with the drow kid?" And she's like, "Huh. Have you heard the news yet?" As they're like, everyone's like, "No, what news?" "The trading post that's between us and High Elves." "Oh, you mean the trading town?" "Yes, that one. We were fortunate that it popped up where it did. It helped trading and gathering intel a whole lot easier because of our issue with the sea right now." As she's like, "Unfortunately, it was wiped out." As everyone's like, "What do you mean wiped out?" As she tells them, it's it's either one of the high elf tribe. I'm not sure which one. I'll be arranging a meeting with the nearest tribe that's near us in the near future to get the bottom of this. It hurts us, even though we had no claim to the land there or any alliance with the leaders, past the leaders. But the backlash of this will affect us in the long run. I acted too late on this one. As she kind of blames herself for it. Oh. And this one right here is one of the only survivors. One of two survivors. I think. I'm gonna have to go back there and study that situation there. As they're like, they kind of felt bad for the kid because his whole village got massacred off the face of the earth. Well, and especially how this one has our tribe's blood in him. As they're like, "What do you mean? Look at his eyes." As they see the glowing blue one with the glowing purple one. The glowing blue one they usually have. Yes, apparently. Don't know how. Don't know how, but it seems like one of our kind mixed with a drow. And I'm not sure how many generations this goes back. But if he's one of us, even though he has darker replexion a little bit, even though he looks like a drow, but he has potential in his ice magic. As they're discussing how is that possible, Diama, because there's never like been a reported success of a crossbreed between a drow, dark elf, or a frost elf, just for plot sake. And Inko's family hid that shit. Like they hid that information because it's a they see it as a stain on their family honor. So they did all that. As someone bursts through the door, and she's like, "Mother, I just saw the reports from the scouts about the trading town." As she sees she's in discussions with the council, as she's like, "My apology, Mother. I didn't know you were in the middle of a meeting." As she was like, "No, dear, come inside. Come in and shut the door." As the reports are true, I just came from the scene. There's a large ice pillar in the middle of the town. I want you to get that gathered and put here, so we could study it. Hopefully, get the young drow woman out of there, if she's still alive. And she's like, "Yes, Mother, I'm on it." Oh, and would you take care of this one? As she's like, "A drow, a drow young boy. Don't tell me, Mother." She's like, "Yeah, he's the only survivor. I want you to take care of him. We will be taking him into our house, as they're gonna. He's basically going to be a part of the tribe. So the whole house, the whole clan, part of our clan." As everyone's like, "Is that wise? Might have might have our blood. He still looks like one of the drows." She's like, "Shut up. My it's my foot's down. If any harm comes to him, it is treason, punishment by death. Do I make myself clear?" As everyone's like, "Yes." As they take Izuku out. Oh, I think I named. Oh yeah, I totally didn't name her. Yeah, I was thinking of the name earlier, but I'm just gonna use the one I use more frequently recently here. It just fits the picture a little well, in my opinion. But whatever. I'm a name her Luna because it's easier. So it's hard to. I don't want to remember a shitload of different names. So as we'll be taking him, as she bends down, looks at Izuku. It's like, so guess that makes me your big sister now. As sorry. As Izuku's tummy, rumbles, he's like, "You probably want something to eat." As he's still not. He's processing what's all going on right now. That's why he's not talking very much. As it goes off, as we're going to skip some time, as we skip several years, as you have Izuku using wind magic on his feet, as he's basically doing what Gran Torino does with his quirk, all around the city, or town, or village, or whatever he's in. As Izuku zooming through, as he's going through the marketplace, as he sees a man holding like a white apple. It's a frost apple. It's one of the things that grows there. As Izuku grabs it in midair, he's like, "Thanks." As the man's like, "Get back here, Izuku. Gotta pay for that." As Izuku tosses a coin, as Izuku goes through the town eating his apple while he's jumping on different buildings. As he's in mid-flight, as a snow hand grabs him, throws him down. As Izuku looks up, as he's like, "Hey sis," as she bends down, "That's no way for someone from our house to act in public. Mother's been over this several times, Izuku." As Izuku's like, "You're no fun." As he's like, "Wait, the last time I checked, you had fun the last time you did it with me last time. The last run I went." As like, yes, it was fun. As, she doesn't want to be wrong, but we got severely punished and lectured. And I knew better, but I let you suck me into it. You're too good of a talker. As she's upset a little bit as he falls back up on his feet. "So, why did you stop me, sis? What's up?" As she's like, "Mother sent me to fetch you. We're having visitors. She'll explain. She'll explain further once we meet her." As Izuku's walking with his sister, Luna, as he's like, what's going on?" "You're gonna find out eventually. High elves are coming to visit." As she sees his very disdain, bloodthirsty look, as she's like, "Izuku, stop. You know the rules. You're not to harm any high elves in a city when when they don't pose a threat." As he's fine, sister, but they're gonna pay. As she's like, "Come on, Izuku, let's go." Now, over the years, she's trained him, of course, but she took him in as her own son. So there's that. As they get to where the meeting place, and she's like, "Good, Izuku, you finally arrived. Now you probably figured out who's coming." As as she remember the rules, no harm must come to any high elves. As that's a direct order from your chieftain and order from your mother. As Ezekiel's like, "Very well, mother." As he doesn't like the order, but he'll follow it. As he's like, "As you wish, chieftain." As she's like, "Say that again right." And she's like, "Yes, mother." As he doesn't really like calling other people mother because, he finds it disturbing. Not disturbing, but he hasn't really accepted the fact that, his mother could be dead, but doesn't know yet. So she'll appear in this series, but I'm not sure when. So that'll be a thing later on, but let's continue our story. Okay, as you see, this woman walks through the door with one male elf and one female elf behind them. They look about around the same age, the two behind her. As I'm going to rehash another name because it's easier for me this way. So I'm going to call, this is the leader of the tribe, or leader of the clan, elves that are migrated, or they're placed next to on the other side of the old trading post that was there, the trading town that was massacred. So they were nearby. So that's going to be a thing. All right, so this one's going to be Yuna. This one's going to be Kikyo because, why not? And this one's going to be Kira because I like making that one into what I like doing. So, yes, hello. Huh. It's been a while, Lady Yuna, as they get in, as they're beginning discussions, as he draws his, as Kira sees Izuku, as he draws his blade, as he shoots a fireball, as he's like, filthy drow, as his mother is trying to stop him, as so is his sister. As Izuku reflects it out of the way, hitting the wall, as he's like, as he disappears, as he appears right next to him with a dagger to his throat, he's like, give me a reason, elf. Just give me a reason. As Luna and Kikyo comes in as they're, all right, brothers, that's enough. As they pull in their younger brothers, as Izuku getting dragged next to his mother again, as Izuku gets a glare at him by his mother. I told you. As he's like, what do you expect, mother? He attacked. It's too bad he couldn't finish the job. As he gives a murderous intent towards Kira. Freaking, not totally freaking out, but yeah, he's shaking a little bit. As Yuna chimes in, as she talks. But I would like to know why a drow is here. I have no ill intent towards their species personally, but a lot of my kin don't think that way. As she looks down at her son, as he's glaring Izuku the death glares, because they want to kill each other from the get go. As Shiva has, she's on her throne, a little throne thing, on her little throne thing, as she has a sword lean across from her legs. And she's like, why I requested this meeting to begin with, Lady Yuna, Queen Yuna, is I want to know who's responsible for burning down the trading post, the trading town. As the Queen's like, you don't expect us. None of my kin would do something this outrageous. Yeah, we have some prejudice. Well, yeah, we have a lot of prejudice towards the drow species, but we would never go that far. As really, I think you should rethink that idea. As she throws the blade on the ground, and it's a blade that Shiva took from the battlefield. I found several of these blades laying around the scene of the village. As I'm normally against interfering in other nations' business or other tribes, but if you had anything to do with this, I will end your tribe. And you know full well we can. As she examined the blade. Daughter, do you recognize this house? As she's like, I've seen these markings before. Mother, this is the radicals, one of the radical tribes. As there's a few of them like that, like they kill drows on sight. It's hard to tell which one it is, though. Great. We had nothing. We have nothing. we have nothing to do with what happened to the trading post. It also provide benefits to our for my people as well as yours. But trust me, we'll get down to the bottom of it. As she looks back at her children, and she's like, I don't have to ask this, but did you two do anything about this? Did you have any hand in this? As Kikyo's like, no, mother, of course not. As Kira smirks a little bit, of course, mother, I wouldn't dare dream of doing something so devious. As Kikyo looks at her brother, yeah, give me a second here. Like a very suspicious look, just by the phrasing, and he just out about it and just bragged about it in a way they can't really press the issue. As they stare at each other for a good couple seconds, as Shiva relaxes, she's like, good, because I would hate to have to kill one of my best friends. As, yeah, they're like, they've bonded over the time they were kids. And she's like, seriously, Shiva, I had nothing to do with this. I don't know who did, but we'll get a bottom to it. If anyone from my house is involved in my clan, proper measures will be dealt with. Proper measures will be dealt. As proper punishment and all that. It's not going to be pretty. Now, they're placed in the middle, the trading post between the two tribes. But other tribes do attack the village because dark elves live there, and a mixture of different species live there. So yeah, they're not all. They want to nip that in the bud apparently because they're douches. So there's that. As they start discussing what they're going to do about it, as there's the alarms go off as a couple soldiers come piling through, as like, we have intruders coming down the coastline, coming down the sea. As, do you know the banner they're flying under? Negative, ma'am. They're too close. We can't get a clear shot. As there's no is there any vessels in the sea right now? This time of year it's quite easy. Negative. As how close they are. As you know, they discuss all that. I don't want to go through that. Give me a second here. As she gets all the information, now they can't send ships out because they're too close to the coastline. They're really close to land. So as the soldier says, my estimates they should be landing in a couple seconds. As Izuku gets a grin, as he knows where the area is. As he smiles, as he's like, "Please excuse me, mother. I have some business to attend to." As Shiva looks at him and says, "Go have fun, Izuku." She knows exactly what he's going to do. He's going to throw some steam off. And this will show the High Elf that he doesn't really care about Dark Elves too much. As Luna's like, Mother, are you sure that's wise? You know how when he let him loose like that? The boy needs some stress reliever. She's like, who exactly is the boy? As they're as they're getting ready for a battle, as he's the last survivor of the town, and he has our kin. So if any harm comes to him, it is an act of treason, even if it comes from one of your tribe members. She's putting her foot down as they agree on that. At least the queen does, and the daughter, naturally. As Izuku disappear in he basically teleported. So yeah, he disappeared in a puff of smoke as his body turned to smoke he as he flies on in smoke form as he gets to the pier as he's on the he's on the sand as Shiva has made a she created a like a viewing portal or whatever viewing spell where she's showing the events what Izuku's doing this just to show off because she's like that. It's like a big round ice glass mirror type of deal that Izuku came up with, and she kind of like using it for civilians. So as they're like, they were all shocked at this spell because they have never thought about something like this before because they're idiots. So let's continue. As he's sitting on, as he's sitting in the not sitting on the stand, as he's standing in the sand, as he's like, wait, this will come. I forgot something. As he portals back into the chamber, or where everyone's at, he's like, my bad, I forgot my bow. As he portals back, as mother, he's doing that. He's doing that again. As Izuku is acting like nonchalantly about this, as he's like, ah, as he portals to the scene again, as there's the men are trying to run in, they're running towards drier land as they land their ships. So where they land is not near the pier, but somewhere on the edge of the land base. I'm not very good with sea terms, so you might forgive me from that because yeah, that's a lot of information to gather to remember. So yeah, that's the whole. I'm not gonna get into that. Now Izuku has created several different spells that no one's seen before. Now I'm giving Izuku this because why not? If I'm gonna make it like a freaking pretty much OP Dark Elf, I'm gonna give him this as all he needs is a bow. He's able to create magical energy arrows. Use them as a arrow for a normal bow. Yeah, so everyone in everyone in that town is able to use this because they use it for because if you ran out of arrows out of your quiver, you have the magical arrows as backup as long as you know the spell. It's gifted in arts of arcane arts. So there's that. As Izuku's whistling, as he's walking towards them, as he loads his first shot, as he's like, "Huh, you're a fast one. Gotta nip you in the butt." As he shoots, as magic arrow goes piercing through his head, as he falls down. Ah, well, I guess I could always use. This is perfect target practice. It's always best when you have live ones. As he's rapid shotting the arrow, as the high elves are taking note of his skill in archery. Because in this, he has, his mother taught him about definitely archery. Shiva taught him about archery and how useful it can be in certain situations. So he was pretty much a natural at it. So it wasn't very hard for him. So he even got skilled. He's even better than his own mother and sister in archery. As the queen's like impressive for a drow. As As that dude, they were discussing the press of his skills and they were wondering where that spell came from because they use it. That's one of the things that Izuku allowed free trade with, even though he hates high elves with a passion. But it's for good. But it's good for a relationship for the two species that are next to each other. So, oops, give me a second. And Izuku believes that magic should be shared, not hoard. He's totally against hoarding spells and keeping it all secret. He's not all about that. As Izuku drops his bow, unleashes his hand as he's rapidly shooting fireballs, as the drows are ducking for cover, as they're confused what's going on, as they're like, what the hell is one of our kind doing this? As he's quite skilled in the arcane arts. Where's our sorcerers at? As they're like, they still haven't landed. They're out in sea. As Izuku sees the ship in the distance, as he's continuing a rapid shot with one hand, as he unleashes a huge fireball, as it's like, give me a second, as all he says is firebolt, as he shoots it out, as all you see the ship, the big explosion, the burning, and all the passengers jumping out, all the survivors, as Izuku, while the survivors are swimming, as they're getting dragged into the water, as Izuku created a ice shark. Basically, yeah, he should have created an ice shark. He's been always wanted to try that out. It was a test run. As the soldiers are charging still at him, as Izuku's just dodging the blade back and forth, as he's still controlling the ice shark. He has to concentrate on that a little bit. As he's like, this is getting annoying. As Izuku grabs the man's hand, twists it around, grabs his sword, and stabs him in the gut. As he's like, I was concentrating. Not a good move, my man. As he pulls out the blade out of his gut, as he chops his head off. As all the dark elves stop. As Izuku floats up, as he's like, I expected more from drows. All the horror stories I've heard. Such a pity it didn't live up to all the hype. As this is what Izuku does. He's not that Magus from Aladdin, but whatever. But I probably pronounced the anime wrong. But let's just continue. As he creates shards of ice, as he moves his hand down, as they all impaling all the drows. As Izuku hovers back down, he was taught wind magic and all that, so yeah, he found a way to fly if he wants to. As Kira sees this, he thinks he's a threat, like Major. He wants to kill him even more now. Because if a drow could be this powerful, even though he's a mixed blood, yeah, that's a thing he doesn't like. And make sure I still... Okay, I'm just... want to make sure I still was recording. As Izuku floats back down, as there's a couple survivors crawling, as Izuku creates a ice blade. My mom always said not to leave any survivors. As he's cutting them down, as Yuna's like, shouldn't you stop this, Shiva? No. No, we do not. I have no ill towards any other race, but we can't simply allow them to leave alive. If word gets, if I don't want the rest of the Drow Nation dragging down my neck. I don't know if this is a concentrated attack or just a stray one. As they're not sure if the Drows are going in for open war with everyone. As we cut back to Izuku, as he's walking towards the rest of them, there's a bunch of Drows huddled together trying to crawl as they're severely injured. As he puts his hand out, as Luna grabs his hand, as she's like, "That's enough, Izuku. They're done." As Izuku looks towards her, and she's like, "I don't think so. They're Drows." As he pretty much does this with his opposite hand, as he's using explosions, killing the whole lot of them. My mother and I was taught how Drows from the capital behave. You can't show mercy to them. As Ezekiel walks away, as Luna is conflicted about this. She's more of a she's more towards peace with everything. And Izuku just, if it bugs him, he'll kill it. So pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Now, the ice that was Inko encased in, it was created by magic, of course, so she's still alive, but she's going to be in a hibernation state, like I said, I think in the beginning. So they have it inside the village, where Luna is always researching it and trying to find a way to see if she's alive. If she's alive, then a way to safely get her out of the ice. So that will be pretty much about it for this part. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. All right, bye.